Welcome to Do the Math America. I am Charlene Math Shaman. My most recent videos have been covering geometry proofs. I will take a detour away from geometry proofs for the next several video lessons in order to cover perimeter and area of polygons. Before I do, I need to first give you a primer on the metric system versus the US custom or the English standard system. So this video will have no practice problems. It's for information only. When measuring the weight of an object, the metric system uses the base unit of grams. The English standard, which can also be called imperial, or the US custom system, measures weight in ounces, which is abbreviated as OZ, or pounds, abbreviated as LB, or tons. In the metric system, 1 kilogram, which is abbreviated as kg, equals 1,000 grams, which is abbreviated as G. 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams, which is abbreviated as mg. And 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. The abbreviation for micro is the Greek letter mu. In the English system, 1 pound equals 16 ounces, and 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. In comparing the metric system to the English standard system, 1 kilogram equals about 2.2 pounds. When measuring length or distance, in the metric system, we use the base unit of meters. In the English standard system, we use inches, feet, yards, and miles to measure length and distance. And in parentheses, I write in the symbols for those units. 1 kilometer or kilometer, abbreviated as km, equals 1,000 meters, abbreviated as just m. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, abbreviated as cm. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters, abbreviated as mm. And 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. So you can see the metric system uses a base 10 system. In the English standard system, 1 foot equals 12 inches. And 1 yard, abbreviated as YD, equals 3 feet. And 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. The other abbreviation for feet is FT, and the other abbreviation for inch is IN. In comparing the English standard to the metric system, when it comes to distance, 1 mile equals about 1.6 kilometers, and 1 inch equals about 2.54 centimeters. When measuring volume in the metric system, the base unit is liters, abbreviated as L. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters, abbreviated as ml. And 1 milliliter equals 1,000 microliters, which is only measured in scientific laboratories with special instruments. In the metric system, micro is abbreviated using the Greek letter mu, the U with the tail on the left. In the English standard system, volume is measured by cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. 2 cups equals 1 pint. 4 cups equals 2 pints, which equals 1 quart. And 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. In comparing the English standard system to the metric system when measuring volume, 1 gallon equals 3.785 liters. In this discussion of the metric system versus the English standard system, you may notice that the conversion of unit sizes is much more straightforward in the metric system. It's a base 10 system. Whereas in the English standard system, the conversions are more complicated. All scientists around the world use the metric system in publishing their research. Most countries in the world use the metric system. So you may be wondering, why does the United States still adhere to the English standard system? Well, the reason is that the English standard system is human scaled. Let me show you a few examples. First, let's take a look at the comparison in size of a meter versus a yardstick. A yard has 3 feet. The yellow tape measure on the left is extended to 1 meter. You can see that a meter is slightly longer than a yard. And my measuring cup here shows that 2 cups is approximately close to the same volume as 500 milliliters. And here you can see that the tip of my index finger is almost exactly 1 inch long. Back to my measuring cup, you see I have poured 1 cup of tea into my measuring cup, which is the perfect amount of tea that I want to drink in my teacup. Now I show you how a yard, 3 feet, is approximately the length of a man's arm stretched out from fingertip to around the middle of his chest. And in this picture, we see that 1 foot length, as measured out by the tape measure, is very close to the size of a man's shoe. Because the English system is human scaled, we can determine the approximate measurement of items without special measuring equipment. So our fingertips can be used to measure inches. Our feet can be used to measure how long something is. Some men, for example, use the stride in their walk to measure yards. And a typical man can measure yards using his fingertips to somewhere on his torso. Also, a household cup can be used to measure volume. Because of the human scale of the English standard measuring systems, Americans have chosen to continue using this system instead of switching to the metric system. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me at Do the Math America.